Hello YouTube, and welcome to my latest video. We're going to look at some comic book back issue editions that I've recently made. Before we get started, I want to acknowledge a huge milestone that's happened to this channel since my last video. We surpassed 100 subscribers. I know when we got close to the 100 subscriber mark, there were a lot of different people that were out there rooting for me and promoting me to and encouraging people to subscribe to the channel so I could hit this milestone, and we did it. I couldn't have done it without you, that's for sure. I've only been on YouTube a little over 4 months, and to achieve this milestone so fast means the world to me. Thank you so much. If you're a new subscriber, we'll take care of some new subscriber shoutouts before this video is over with, so hang tight for those. The purpose of today's video is to show off some books that I picked up at a recent comic book show. I'm not sure at the time if I was going to be able to make the show because the weather had been so bad, especially the day before. And the show was about an hour away. So when it got to show day, the weather was on my side, I met up with some friends, and we went to the show. When you get there, you're always offered a free book of your choice off of some that they have on a table. And I thought a good free book to pick up would be Green Lantern #1. How in the world can I resist that beautiful Alex Ross cover? Plus I knew that that is a Comic Food 2814 approved choice that I made. So we were off to a good start with a nice free Green Lantern #1 comic at the beginning of the convention. The first book that I saw that made me pull that trigger, the one that I knew that I didn't want to let anyone else snap up, was actually not a comic book. It's a children's book from 1982. It's Justice League of America, The Lunar Invaders. Now, I have this book at my parents'. It comes with a cassette tape. The cassette tape is missing from this. Although I know at my parents' the book and the tape should be together. I'm not sure what condition either one is in. But this was a good price, and I thought that it would be nice to have a backup for it. It's something that you don't see all the time at a convention. It's a great Marv Wolfman story with some great artwork inside. And that was the one that made me pull my trigger and say, yep, gotta have this one at the convention. Next was a book that I was really hoping to find. Freedom Fighters #4. I should note too that you'll see a price tag on this book, and you'll see some price tags on other books. That's not the price that I paid. As a matter of fact, it says $15 for this book. I paid a third of that. I had Freedom Fighters #4 and the following issue, #5, which are both Wonder Woman tie-ins. These are upgraded copies. The last time I was at this show, from the exact same dealer, I picked up the upgraded Freedom Fighters #5. I was hoping this time he would have Freedom Fighters #4, and he did. And it was good to get a chance to reread both of these stories too. I was excited to see this issue of Adventure Comics. This, I believe, is the first appearance of that Supergirl costume that she ended up wearing for quite some time, with the short shorts and the little booties there, and the V-neck with the S emblem in the chest area. This is issue number 420 of Adventure Comics. It's interesting, around this time she was wearing a lot of different costumes. She wore this costume, then I think for the next couple issues she wore a different costume, then they went back to this costume and it stuck for like a decade or so. So this is a book I'd been on the lookout for quite some time. It was there, and this dealer always has such a great selection of books, and they're always in amazing condition too. Oh, this book is my mistake book, and let me explain why. It's Spider-Woman #5. I am only one Spider-Woman issue away from having the complete run of her Volume 1 comics. And I thought it was #5 that I needed, even though I looked on my CLZ app and I already had #5. That's why it's my mistake book. I needed #4. But there is a silver lining to this. I was talking with one of my friends. He has a Savage She-Hulk comic book that I need. I believe it's issue number 24, which will complete my run of Savage She-Hulk. And we're going to trade each other. So, story does have a happy ending at the end. By the way, Metarog did a great 2-part video recently of all of the Bronze Age Spider-Woman appearances. Check those out if you want. I've been using that as a reference point for me. I want to pick up all of the Bronze Age Spider-Woman appearances. As I said, I have all the books now in her own title. There's a few I might want to get some upgraded copies of sometime in the future, but at least I have each one now. And after I trade this off with my friend, I'll have the complete run of Savage She-Hulk comics as well. So that's my mistake purchase, but not a bad mistake in the long run. Everything works out the way it's supposed to. This book, Superman number 268, I saw back in the fall at a different convention I went to. It was in horrible shape, and it was way too expensive for how bad the condition was. Last year I picked up a different Superman comic that had a Superman-Batgirl team up, and I started looking at the different appearances that Batgirl had made with Superman, and I really knew that I wanted this comic. Nice, beautiful cover there with a purple background, and I found it. Wasn't going to let this slip out of my sight. It was definitely in my price range too, and it was a good read. One tradition that I have is I always pick up a Superman family comic book every time I go to this convention. I don't know why. It's just some type of unspoken tradition that I have. This time around, I picked up Superman Family 183. Now, this cover had been used in DC Comics solicitations and different comic books for the title around the time that it was published. So I've seen this cover so many times and always wondered what the story was about. And this time I knew I was going to get a Superman comic sometime at some dealer at the convention, because I always do. When I saw this one, I thought, yep, I think it's time to find out what the story is all about. And that's the one I decided to go with. Marvel 2-in-1, number 31, presents The Thing, Alone Against Mystery Menace. So I mentioned Metarog's Spider-Woman 2-part Bronze Age appearance. This is a very early appearance of Spider-Woman. As a matter of fact, this is back when she had the original costume design with the hood that concealed her hair. I believe Spider-Woman's in like 4 consecutive issues of this Marvel 2-in-1, and I wouldn't have known to pick this up if it wasn't for Metarog's video. So when I saw this going through some books, picked it up because I knew eventually I was going to get it. Marvel Team Up 34 finds Spider-Man teaming up with Valkyrie. I'm a Valkyrie fan, and I thought, looks like an interesting story. Like the cover. Ended up purchasing it. Enough said, right? But I wasn't done with my Marvel team-ups. I also got number 44. I had seen this book at a previous con back in the fall too, and almost bought it then, but theirs had a lot of colorware near the top. I'm kind of a little bit on a Moondragon kick, and I've always loved Scarlet Witch. And if you look close, we've got Scarlet Witch, we have Vision, we have Doctor Doom, Spider-Man, and Moondragon. So when it says featuring Spider-Man and Moondragon plus guest stars galore, they are not kidding at all. Good story, too. Justice League of America number 164 is an upgrade for me. I wanted to get an upgraded copy of this. Nice Zatanna story, where Zatanna finds her mother. This I couldn't believe. I already have one of these and bought it as part of a lot. But this was so affordable, and I know that it's not in maybe the best of condition, but a little cleanup and a little pressing, and this book is really going to shape up and display really nice, I think. Super Friends number 7 is the first comic book appearance of Zan and Jaina and Gleek, the Wonder Twins. Usually you don't see this issue. It definitely was at a price that I thought, even in this condition, was very low, if not a really good steal. So picked it up. I absolutely, like I said, already had it. Needed another copy at this price. Couldn't set that down. This next book, Supergirl, this is volume 2 of Supergirl, issue number 14. Not a key issue or anything like that, but for some reason it was the only issue of the second Supergirl series that I was missing. Found it. Wanted to be able to check that off on the CLZ app and have each issue. Now we can do that. The rest of the books that I'm going to show you, except for the very last one, I picked up for 50 cents each, and they're in really amazing shape. Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes number 244 is another upgraded copy. I had this book as a child. I actually still do have a copy of this book as a child. It's kind of worn. Definitely recognize the cover each time that I see this book. But for 50 cents to get I mean, that's the original cover price. And this is in such great shape. Now, when I reread the story, I didn't remember much of it at all. I really remembered the cover, but there was hardly any panels on the inside or anything that I really truly remembered. So, not regretting the purchase at all. I'm really happy to have a nice upgraded copy. Obviously, when I was a kid, there was some purpose why I wanted this story. Either that or there was nothing else at the grocery store to pick up that day. But brings back, the cover for sure brings back memories, and that's worth it alone. One of my friends found this next book for me. DC Comics presents number 22, Superman teams up with Captain Comet. It was actually a pretty good story, but the reason that I really wanted this, there is a Wonder Woman cameo appearance in here. When Superman heads back to the Justice League satellite, she is on monitor duty. She's in maybe about 3 panels or so. This is the regular newsstand edition. It's not really worth that much, but the Whitman variant of this comic is worth a heck of a lot of money and very rare. But to find a book that has been on my watch list since I'm such a Wonder Woman fan for 50 cents, good deal. I also decided to pick up some Defenders. In the future, I would like to fill in a lot of my Defenders run. I like Valkyrie, as I've established already. I'm a real big fan of Hellcat, and I'd really like to have the Defenders book, at least from when Hellcat joins on up. This is issue number 71. And they had more Defenders that I didn't have, 73. Hellcat featured a little bit more prominently on that cover. Defenders 78. And I think I have one more Defenders book. Yep. Number 106. And my last 50-cent book that I picked up was another upgrade too. Alpha Flight number 3, some great John Byrne artwork there. I had this book. For some reason, there was a big chunk missing on the back cover. So to be able to replace it for 50 cents, 10 cents cheaper than it was when it was brand new, and it's in very good shape too, was too good of a deal to pass up. So that is kind of a wrap-up of the books that I bought at the convention. There is one final book to show you, and my friend Brian surprised me with this. When the convention was over, we went out to eat, and he's like, here, I picked you up a book. And that was so sweet of him. He got me Superman Family 168. Look at how crazy Supergirl kind of looks on that cover. But I am trying to work on my run of Superman Family books. I'm also trying to work on my run of Batman Family books as well. This was an A-OK surprise from my friend Brian, who was one of my friends that I went to the convention with, and I thank him so much for that. So that's kind of a wrap-up of some of my recent additions. As I promised you, I want to give a shout-out to some folks that are new subscribers to the channel. We surpassed 100 subscribers thanks to people like Fred Hall Direct Edition, Sarah Stopka, Geeky Guy Comics, Katie Kaboom, Some Comic Book Hunter, Carolina Chris 26 is a subscriber. We also have Metaphorical, which is very cool to have Metaphorical subscribing. Fishin' Freaks Comics, who I see in the chat pretty frequently, is subscribing now. Joker 68. Joey Bag of Sevens, which is Joe 47771. I bet he didn't think that I know that he went as Joey Bag of Sevens, but I knew that. Matilda Gothica. I was watching Matilda receive an A-OK from The Boy Who Had Seven, and she has such a cool personality, and she just says it the way it is, and she really entertained me too. Every person who subscribes to my channel is special to me because it's all of your support that means the world. I got on YouTube from watching 3, maybe 4 people's different channels for a long time without ever interacting with them or anyone else in the comic community. And the first one of those 3, if not 4 people who made me want to get on YouTube has now become a subscriber. I didn't want to ask. I just wanted it to see if it would happen naturally. But Comic Fu 2814 is now a subscriber. He is one of those 3 or 4 channels that made me want to join the YouTube comic book community. And thank you so much, Comic Fu, for subscribing to the channel. It means the world to me. Hey, Brenton S., I saw you subscribe too. That's awesome. Jim Bowers is a subscriber to our channel. We also have Jay Blitz Comics with us. Rob Boswell. There's Thunder God 75 Comics. Thunder God, I was watching your channel and your live stream that you did with Stevie B on. I was just watching that the other day. Oh, John's Comics and Kids. He just surpassed 1,000. How cool is that? I would not have known that Pringles socks existed had it not been for John's Comics and Kids. I don't think it was his socks, but he showed them off. So learn something new all the time. As of recording date, right now, I have 111 subscribers to the channel, and subscriber 111 was Agu Ramas, who I believe told me, "Don't disappoint. I will do my best." Thank you again for being new subscribers to my channel. Please show support by subscribing to the channel, by commenting on this video. Do you have any of these books? Are you looking for any of them? What books are you looking for? It was kind of interesting at this convention. They had mostly copper and bronze and silver age books. There was hardly any recent books at all. That doesn't hurt my feelings because the books that they brought to the conventions that the dealers had, that bronze and copper and silver age, a few golden age, that's my wheelhouse for sure. But tell me what books you're looking for. Tell me what you think of the books that I got. I'm interested in all the comments you have. Please consider giving the video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. And subscribing, as I said, is really the best way to show your support to the channel. You can hit the notification bell to be instantly alerted whenever I post new content to this channel. So that wraps up today's video. We'll have another comic book editions video coming soon. That one should include the oldest Fantastic Four comic book that I have in my collection. So I'll be excited to share that with you. Until then, thank you again for spending some time, making it all the way to the end of this video, and for your support. Can't do 100 plus subscribers without you, and it was a fantastic feeling hitting that milestone. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and thanks again for watching.